there, it is your girl Kyra Jones, and I'm here with a video that I've never done before, but you know, it's the first time for everything, so here we are. So as you can see by the title, I'm so out of breath. As you can see by the title, I have undergone something totally different, something new, something I've never experienced before, but this is how losing my mom has allowed me to let go of control. And I know somebody probably like, she's
smiling and laughing. She just said her mom's dead.
Yeah, I keep feeling a little crazy for, like, you know, having like the oomph and the will and the desire to even smile and laugh and play. But if you stay to the end, you'll understand exactly why I am able to smile. And I'm not saying this, I'm opening, I'm not sad, I'm not saying like that, but I'm not depressed about it or whatever. I am okay. For starters, I'm fine. I do have moments, I do have times where things just seem, let me turn you this way a little bit, where things just feel confusing, things feel very unexplained. I can't really explain the feeling. I cannot. If you would ask me, how does it feel to lose your mom, I couldn't describe it. I couldn't pinpoint the emotion or put words with this emotion. It's a pain I've never felt. That's all I can say. It's something that I didn't think I'd have to deal with at the age of 25. It is something that I did not really fully prepare myself for. Although she almost basically raised me to prepare for this moment, I couldn't have never fathomed and imagined like this exact feeling for feeling, emotion for emotion. It's excruciating. It's excruciating. But back to the main points of the video. So before I continue, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment or two, you know what I'm saying, help your girl out with words of encouragement or something. And don't forget to tell a friend that girl K Jones, she posted again. Okay, so let's get right on into it. Saturday, May 4th, my two kids were with my mother-in-law. So me and my fiance, Mr. James, we decided, let's get on up, let's get on out, let's go to the Waffle House. We just had a great start to our morning. We had a great start to our day. Left the Waffle House, went and got some fruit. We just had a great day, smiling, laughing, talking, playing. People were nice, we were nice to people. It was just an amazing day. I kept telling him, it was just so euphoric. It was just so like, oh my goodness. Like, I was like, oh my God, I pray for this, babe. I was like, this is the feeling that I want to feel every day. You know, I want to exude this energy every single day. So wind down, it's time for dinner. We get us some dinner, go home, get ready for the kids to come back home. At this point, like, okay, the kids been gone long enough. Where's my kids at? We were ready to see the kids, excited to see the kids. I was doing some, like, what you call them things, either bohemian or passing twist, one or two with my hair. So I waited on them to get back, passing some time, just doing my hair. So they came back around 9 o'clock. We jumped, played, laughed, watched TV a little bit. They got pajamas on, brushed their teeth, washed their hands, washed their face, all that good stuff. Got in bed, hugged them good night, did our nightly routine. Cool. So they're asleep by, it was like, I believe 10. I think they were asleep before 10. No, they were asleep before like 10. They were asleep before like 10:15. So me and him continue watching TV. We're actually watching YouTube, to be exact. And first of all, I would never forget how this whole process even started. From the time we had the good day up until like right this moment, May 20th. Everything is so vivid. But anywho, I went into the bathroom to kind of like part my front of my hair, and this was at 10:40. Stayed in there for a couple minutes. I was parting and edge controlling the parts, and as I'm coming back into the room, like mid-step, James said, why is Mika calling you? It's 10:42 at this time, and Mika is my aunt. She was my mom's primary caregiver, whatever you want to call it. At the time, she took care of my mom in replace of her sister / my aunt. So once he said that, it was first of all, it's 10 o'clock at night. The caregiver is calling at 10 o'clock at night. Honestly, my heart, like the world stopped for like 3 seconds. He said, why is Mika calling at 10:42 at night? My family has this thing of just passing at night. And I'm very, very traumatized by this, by the way. A lot of people would call our house 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and call. I just have a bad thing. If you're calling at night, something has happened. The same thing happened with the lady her name is Mika, by the way. I think I said that. Her husband, we got a call late at night. He passed. I am very honestly traumatized by phone calls at night. Anywho, my world just stopped at 10:42. I didn't answer the phone in time because like I said, my world just stops. Called her back. She didn't even say hello. She said my name and she said, Kyrie, you need to get to the hospital right now. They just called and said Kim's heart stopped. Once again, my complete world stopped. I couldn't at the time respond like instantly. I responded probably about 3 or 4 seconds later. Was hearing her sobbing and rushing. I heard her car speeding and everything, but I just don't remember remembering anything, thinking anything, feeling anything. Like it was a complete, like nothing for 3 seconds. When I heard Kim's heart didn't stop, mine actually damn near stopped. It was extensive. It was very, 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 I can't put a feeling on that as well. Or okay, I'll be there. Then her son was calling me from Facebook. I couldn't answer. I had to just find some pajamas and a shirt to put on. James grabbed the kids. My son actually didn't have any clothes on. He likes to sleep in his underwear. And my daughter had on pajamas. So he hurried up and just threw a hoodie over him. Just grabbed them some shoes and took them to the car. I had to hurry up and wrap my hair up because my hair wasn't done. I was in the process of doing my hair. And we went to the hospital, pulled up at the emergency room part. A lady that was like the receptionist or something walked me to the room, and I forgot a part. Meanwhile, we were on the way to the hospital. No, this is while I was walking down the hall. Yeah, I was walking down the hall, and Shamika called me and said that I had to make a decision to whether or not I had to basically making the decision to have an emergency surgery to do something. I don't really want to go into details about what happened. It's not really anybody's business. It is nothing like her heart just stopped, but the reason why her heart stopped, I just would rather not share how it even got to that point. But I had to make a decision for an emergency surgery, and my options were you could not get the surgery and her heart could stop, or you could get the surgery and her heart would beat a little longer, but her heart's still gonna stop. You know? So it was a lose-lose situation for, her and the rest of us, as well as me. I did wait on her sister, which is my aunt, and Shamika's decision. I didn't want, although they kept telling me it was this your mom, I don't, I'm not selfish like that. My mom was something and somebody to everybody. I was just not about to say, nope, don't do the surgery, or yeah, do the surgery, without anybody else's opinion or what they feel we should have done or I should have done. So we went ahead with the surgery. The doctor told us that was going to perform the surgery that they were going to wheel her down the hallway that we were standing in the ICU, so we could see her before she went into surgery. They did have to perform CPR on her before everybody got to the hospital, and they put her on a ventilator. And they opened like the little double doors between like the waiting room and the ICU. And the ICU, and the way that she was, the state that she was in, started my first trauma. Started my first thing that traumatized me in that situation. I've never seen my mom look the way that she looked. She had so many people there. There was so many people there to support her. So many people there, you know, waiting whether things are going to go good or going to go bad. Either way it went, they were still there, and I will forever appreciate my family for that. That meant the world to me, because I just didn't have to be up there alone with my kids and my fiance, and you know what I'm saying, just my Aunt Shamika. I didn't have to be alone in a time like that. So my cousin Skeeta, she rubbed her head, and they said her hand went up. I didn't see it because I was really making sure that my kids didn't see my mom in the state that she was in. And I followed her hospital bed down the hall until I couldn't anymore. I honestly had no words to say. I had no feeling. I had no words. I was numb. I don't even think I was mentally there. I just was like, is this happening? This is really like a thing that's going on. I've seen my mom sick. I've seen my mom in the hospital. I've seen my mom in a lot of pain. I've never seen her in a unconscious state before. I've never seen her in a state of not talking, not moving, not, you know what I'm saying? A machine was keeping her alive. Well, at first it was a machine, but as they wheeled her down to the freaking operating room, a lady was like pumping a little thing, keeping her breathing or whatever. So she got out of surgery. They said that they had to do CPR on her twice. So her heart stopped twice during surgery. And fast forward, we basically just went into a room, or the room she was already in, the ICU unit, and we basically just waited on her heart to fully give out. And yeah, that's what happened. So they also asked me if she was to, you know, her heart was to stop again, would I want to resuscitate her or do CPR again? My first initiative was to just say, let her go. That's what I thought. But my supportive, amazing, wonderful fiance, he said, you know, she was not going down without a fight. You know, for a fact, she would not just want to, you know what I'm saying, just go like that. So with the opinions and what everybody else wanted to do, I told the doctors to do CPR on her one last time. So they did it. It stopped, it dropped, and I actually got to witness them perform CPR on her. That was also very traumatizing. We sat in the room before the CPR happened. We did sit in the room with her basically lifeless body for a while. Just to see that a machine was keeping my mom alive was like enough to just end my heart right there. It was so traumatized. I was like, she's not breathing on her own. You know, she's not breathing on her own. A machine is making her chest go up and down. She's not here. That sucks. So we're just basically waiting on everything to shut down. And like I said, that's basically what happened. They performed CPR again, and a lady that was like monitoring all her numbers and stuff was like, I don't recommend you guys doing this again, because she's going to lose brain cells. She's on the state of being a vegetable, on the verge of, it just was a lot. It just was a lot of things that she went down the list and stated that if we were to resuscitate her, bring her back, and she was to make it, then she would just go through an extensive amount of just BS pain, stuff that I know for a fact. And my aunt and my other aunt Shamika they knew for a fact she wouldn't want to live like that. She's already suffered her majority of her life. She's been through pain that most people have never been through. I was rereading our text messages, and I had to just stop at like mid-January because it was just like hospital visit after pain after new situation. I was just like, oh my goodness, like it just was something every week, every month, and I didn't even realize how much she was going through. Like my kids would come over there, we'd come over there, just visit or whatever. I'd talk to her, I'd text her. She'd be in such good spirits that I didn't really realize she was going through that much, and that kind of messed me up when I realized that. So I had to just close our messages. But this was about early 4 o'clock in the morning. They did CPR about 4 something. So it got to a point where I started to get not really angry, but I got a little upset. Like, God, what is faith to me then? Like, what is the actual purpose of faith? They didn't say, when they called my Aunt Shamika, they didn't say she was dead. They did not say she had died. They said her heart stopped. Her other organs had not failed. Oh, might I add, after they did CPR, they said her organs were shutting down. Just had to put that in there. But when they called, they did not say that she was dead. They just said her heart stops. And all her other organs were properly working. So I'm thinking, okay, there's a chance for her to survive this. She has a chance of coming back from this. And it got to a point where I felt like, what is faith? She had faith this whole time that you would heal her, you would bring her out of this. She's had preachers prophesy to her and tell her things that God was gonna do for her. And I said, what was, you mean to tell me she just had this hope and faith for it to end like this? So I really got a little upset in my feelings a little bit, because it just didn't seem like this was how it was supposed to go. And I had a internal battle for some time, and I wouldn't say I was mad at God, but I just felt like my mom's faith was one that was unmatched. I've never seen her believe and know something and internalize something wholeheartedly that it, she damn near had no proof of it even happening, or it looked like it was no chance of it happening, and she still believed. So I kind of embodied that in the moment. She's been here before and things have turned around, so you mean to tell me that this is it? So after about 20 minutes of that, it was about 4:38. I sat in a chair that I guess the doctor was in or whatever, a little brown chair, and I got myself together and I kind of just told God, I said, if this is it, I can't control it. I can't do anything about this. I can't stop this. I can't give her an organ. I can't do anything to stop the plan that you have for her right now. I cannot stop anything that was according to your will. What can I do? I said, God, you got it. You got it. And these are my exact words. Say, you got it. I can't do anything about this. I can't. What can I do? I said, although I don't understand right now, I trust that I'll understand. And it turned to 4:39 once I looked at the monitor. So the song Ways by Janae Aiko kept repeating and kept playing over and over in my head. And keep in mind, this was playing pretty much the whole time we were there. And I'm thinking, why aren't I smiling? What do I have to be happy about? What on earth should I be sitting up smiling? I was thinking, why aren't you smiling? Who you talking to right now? I'm sitting here thinking in my head, I know and some trying to tell me to smile right now. And my mama is dying. You gotta be out your rabbit ass mind, okay? So that's how I felt. And for the next 4 minutes, I just kept saying, I understand, God. I understand. I kept hearing the song Why Don't You Smile, like the whole song was just repeating in my head, like I had it on repeat. It kept going over and over and over and over and over again. I was like, okay, it gotta be happening at 4:44. It has to be happening at 4:44 because I don't think you're trying to tell me to smile right now. I didn't feel that, so I said it has to be happening within the next 5 minutes. So I kept looking at the little Philip machine. Just kept looking up, looking away. The numbers would fluctuate up and down. Her heart rate, and her pressure, something. It was two different numbers that like meant whether it was over or not. But I really was looking at her heart, and her heart rate. It will go from like 32, it's like 40 something, and then it go back down to 20 something. But the last couple of minutes, it stayed around 32. And right at 4:43, it went from 32 to 27 to 21, 19, and it went to 0. The lady, I don't know if I said this or not, there was a lady that was monitoring her. I did. Monitoring her numbers and stuff off, like she was somewhere else. I don't know if she was like in the hospital or she was just like, I don't know what the fuck the lady was at. 4:44, I seen 0. There was no more movement on the machine. The minute that it turned 4:44 and it went to 0, the lady's little screen came on that was monitoring her numbers and all that good stuff. And I called my Aunt Shamika, and she turned around kind of frantic. And my Aunt Shamika said she gone, and the lady just shook her head. Yeah. And after that, I went numb again. First of all, I don't know if I just paused like right now, but that's kind of how I felt, as if I just did. I felt as if I just paused. I kind of just relived the moment. I couldn't do anything but to stare at her lifeless body, and I froze. I was numb. I do remember like hearing in the distance Shamika crying, and I think my Aunt Merlin got up, and they went over to her body, and it was just weird. One of my worlds had just ended at 4:44 a.m. May 5th, 2024. I lost my mom, my best friend, my only friend, my only truest friend. That world that I had known for 25 years had just ended, and nothing in life made sense at that time. Nothing seemed to had mattered leading up to that point. Nothing felt worth it at that point. Nothing felt worth continuing on. Nothing felt like anything. It's like my heart stopped with hers. I couldn't cry. I couldn't scream. I couldn't be upset. I butted my lips together and I had my head to the side, like looking at her lifeless body that I just watched go down until it flatlined. And I had lost my first very best friend. It wasn't up until that moment that I realized we can't control a lot of things. As much as we can control, there's a lot of things we cannot control. And once I gave that over to God, I said, God, can't do anything about it. I let it go. I threw my hands up and said, if this is part of the plan, don't mind that. Then this is okay. Hi guys, it's like 3 days later. My kitties are with me. Say hi guys.
Hi.
So enough of the traumatic, sad story. Okay, his name is Daddy. But anyway, let me get into the part where how Losing.
You call him James.
I do, because he's my person, but how Losing, my mom, kind of helped me let go of control in my life. I have you guys' phones, so give me 1 second to turn them on. So I am such a control freak. I like to know things. I like for things to things so where like I have to know things. I don't know how to explain it, but like I just be wanted to know. I like to be in control. I was raised by, my mom was a single mom. She was independent and she raised me to be independent, you know what I'm saying? So I've always had control of my finances. Like I had a control of a lot of things at a young age. I started to take care of my mom at the age of 7. So I had to mature really fast. So as I got older, I'm like, okay, I can make stuff shake by paying my own bills, by getting multiple jobs. I have a car, I have this, I have that. I have always had a sense of control over a lot of things in my life. So as I got with my fiance, it was very hard for me, and especially as we became adults and we had children, it was extremely hard for me to just rest in my femininity. It was like so hard. I had to have control over everything. I had to like be the bread. Not even that I had to. I just was like, I thought it was natural. I thought that's what you did. And we started to run into problems. We started to have a lot of things go on between us, not in bad ways, but like we came to sudden realizations like, okay, no, maybe I shouldn't be leading, you know, maybe you as the man should, you know what I'm saying, should be working more than me, running businesses, a lot of different stuff. I won't get into details, but we had to have like a together realization that like, no, Kyra, you cannot lead. You have to literally take the back seat or the passenger seat, not even the back seat, but the passenger seat. And that was like step one. This was like in 2022-ish, 2023. I just decided, okay, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom. I'm going to let you work. I'm going to close my business. I'm going to just work on me. I'm going to make sure the house is kept. I'm going to make sure clothes are washed, clean, folded. Food is always in the fridge. Food is always cooked. Everybody's well kept. I just lead into being submissive and a wife and a woman, instead of having to hustle up and make soaps for 40 hours a day and then take care of kids. I was half-assing things that me as a woman should have been caring about and worrying about, period. It wasn't like getting as much attention as it should have. So as I slowly got into that, first of all, I started to love it. And it allowed me to be very stress-free. It allowed me to take certain burdens and responsibilities off of my shoulders. And it allowed me to just be in the energy of receiving. Like, he paid the bills. He made sure gas was in the car. He made sure our lights were on. He made sure we had food in the refrigerator for me to cook. He made sure I had washing powder for me to clean dishes and, washing things, or things to wash dishes, to clean floors, to clean clothes. You know what I'm saying? He made sure everything was provided. So he gave me a home, I made it. He gave me a house, I made it to a home. He gave me bread and food, I made it to meals. So it would just be certain things that I still struggle with, that I noticed that God was trying to get my attention with. Like, hey, you should just let go of control. Hey, you should let go of control. And I like figured it, but I didn't really go with it. I was just like, yeah, maybe that could be like an option or a possibility, but nah, I'm gonna do it my way. So I'm gonna go back to when I said the last 5 minutes of, well, really the last like 7 minutes of before she PASSED. I was like, so like, God, what do you mean? Like, what is faith then? What is faith? What is believing? What is the knowing that you'll make a way. I had a whole argument in my head with God. Like, so you brought her this far just to leave her right here? Like, I wasn't mad, but I was like kind of frustrated. I was frustrated, like, you mean to tell me she had all this faith, all these years, all my life and all her life, just for her to get took out by something that had nothing to do with her condition that she lived with for 20 something years. This is absurd. This is crazy. I couldn't fathom that. So once I literally let go of trying to control the situation, I had to be the dictator of whether she got surgery or not. I had to be the dictator of if she received CPR, if her heart was to stop again. I was the one that had to make the decision to just let her go. Do you guys know how hard that was? Do you know how hard that was for me? When she raised me to keep fighting, if it was an opportunity to fight, to get what you want, you know what I'm saying? She made sure to instill into me, you go after what you want. You don't go out without a fight. I kept turning to my partner. I kept turning to James. I kept going to him like, babe, what should I do? He was like, you know what to do. You know exactly what to do. He wouldn't tell me, you should do this. No, you should do that. He said, you know what to do. And first of all, I want to thank him and really acknowledge him in that whole, it was from 10 to about 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, honestly, of just being he was my partner. He wasn't just my man, my husband, my fiance. That was my partner. He exuded so much trust in me. He exuded his actual faith and belief in my decision making. And after every decision I made, he would let me know, you did the right thing. Like, he trusted me to make the right decision for my mom. Not only was that just, his baby mama, his fiance's mom, no, that was his mom as well. And he knew my mom. He had a special type of relationship. He had a different type of relationship with my mom than, just that being my mom. And he knew exactly what she had wanted. I'm very grateful that he was able to have some type of bond or relationship with my mom, because he picked up on her characteristic traits, her personality. He understood what type of person that my mom was. And I'm grateful that he was there with me during that time to, guide me through making decisions for her. That was like so crazy. I can't thank him enough. God knows I will probably never be able to repay him back. So yeah, he was not my man at the time. That was my partner. And he just came back to the car, and I had to say to him, thank you for showing your actual faith in me. Thank you for allowing me to see how much you believe in me, how much faith you have in me. That was a literal life or situation. Like, her life was on the line. That wasn't, and the thing is, I was in the hospital, very emotional. And earlier that day, I told him, when I'm extremely emotional like that, it is so hard for me to make clear, not hard, I'm not going to speak that over myself. It is a little more difficult, on the difficult side, for me to make decisions, and clear decisions, or the best decisions, for specific, outcomes or whatever. And I told him, even when I'm like extremely happy, I make like crazy decisions. We always reference back to, I would hit my elbow. My cousin Rudy had a he had a house party, and I had got drunk, and I bet my little cousin Rashawn that if you can't take a shot, if you take this shot, I'll give you my Apple Watch. And I just like literally took my Apple Watch off of my wrist, and I gave him my Apple Watch the next day, which I never cared, because it's like, when I feel good, I want other people to I want to make other people feel good as well. And I like to make sure that people are feeling good. Cool, that's cool. So I didn't wake up the next morning like, fuck, I get my Apple Watch. No, I didn't care. But on the flip side of that, when I'm mad, upset, irritated, angry, it's not a pretty sight. It's not really a pretty sight. But I was explaining to him that I'm very aware that when I'm either very emotionally like positive or very emotional negatively, I don't make the best decisions. I don't make appropriate decisions. It's crazy that God kind of put me, or it's like my soul knew, because me and him do have certain conversations, and then it's like God put me to the test, either like in the same hour, the same day, or the next day. And it's crazy that this was a life or situation, and God proved to me that yes, you can. You were thinking that you don't make good decisions or the best or accurate decisions when you're extremely emotional. I had people crying, I had people calling my phone, and I had to just realize and internalize that I just seen my mom in a state I've never seen her in before. Huh? Oh, that's cool. You know how to make music? That's cool. What about Twinkle Twinkle Little Star?
That's a hard one.
Yeah, you can do it, Kimani. You can do it. It's just, I had a lot. On top of, I'm trying to make sure my kids don't see me upset or crying or sad. The doctors are telling me one thing. I'm realizing and fathoming that my mom's in surgery right now. They just said her heart. I had a lot of reasons to be out of whack, okay? And I held it together the best way I could, which I'm very proud of. I commend myself because I wasn't breaking down crying. I cried a few times because it just was a lot. But I was one of the most emotionally stable people there. That was my mom, you know? All y'all crying and the emotional stuff, and the kid ain't crying. The only kid at that. But it's just so crazy that God proves to me in that same day that my child, yes, you can. Don't limit yourself like that. So back to my whole point, to know that my fiance sees that in me, to know that my fiance views me as that I can make clear-cut decisions even when the stakes are, bless you, the stakes are high, or when it looks bad, or when it looks a little low, like it ain't gonna go right, like it's going left. And to know that he thinks he thinks very highly of me, it just, I don't know, it makes me feel some type of way, in a good way. It's like, oh, okay, that's who you are. It gave me a second to realize that you can do whatever you put your mind to. I used to pray to God when I was a kid. Please don't let me lose my mom. Please don't let me lose my mom. I don't know what I'll do. My mom. I'm her only child. I would just feel like I would like die if I didn't have my mom in my life. And I kept telling my fiance, I just faced one of my fears head on, face first. I watched her slowly drift away. I watched her heart and her body just shut down. And I was the least emotional person there. I didn't react to the situation how I originally thought I would as a kid and as a teenager. And even adult, I just would figure, what would I do without my mom? How can I live without my mom? And I faced one of my biggest fears head on, all because I just let go of control. All because I surrendered to the will of God. The will of God, the will that God had for her life, the will that God had predestined for my life. And I haven't been a train wreck. I said in the videos before, I'm not okay, you know? I'm not just like happy-go-lucky. I'm not just like, oh yeah, I'm super fine. No, I'm really not okay. And I'm aware of that. I have my moments where I just sit and say, okay, babe. I sit and say, like, my mom, you know? This is unfair. I have my moments where I cry and I get in my feelings and my feelings get hurt. To be as strong as I am, even making this video, reliving the moment, talking about my experience, I am not who I thought I was going to be. And that says a lot about my strength. And that says a lot about the strength that God instilled in me by surrendering to him. I don't really want to make it about God and religion. I don't follow religion, I do not, but I do believe in God. I consider myself a child of God. I follow God. I talk to God. I praise God. So this will be about God. But to know that without him, I wouldn't be this person that is looking to my camera right now. I wouldn't be the person that I was at her funeral, saying the beautiful, admirable words I said about my mom. I said one of the most beautiful speeches, or whatever you want to call it, about her that I've never done in my life before. I watched them lower her into her casket. I watched them front row shut the casket closed for the last time on my mom's body. I watched them load her body into the hearse. I drove behind my mom's deceased body. I watched them lower her into the ground. And that was the last time I seen anything physical of my mom, and I didn't shed a tear. It wasn't until we went to her dad's house to basically just get together as a family that I realized that if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even be here. You know, I'm not like too fond of my family, but she was the person who kept me updated on them. She kept me around them, and she kept me up to date on them. And to realize that you're not here, but I'm here because of you, it hit me, and I had to leave. So as my kids and I and my fiance was walking back to the car, I dropped a few tears. I had to just stop like walking and fathom that I'm never going to see her again. And it hurt, you know. But I didn't cry that whole day, and I said, God, this had to be you. And I heard God say, no, it's you. It's because I've prayed to embody every trait of God. It's because I've prayed to have strength that no matter what I face, no matter what I go through, I will always go to God. I won't go to a substance. I won't go to a person. I won't go to my person, my partner. I won't go to a social media. I won't go to anything. I will go to you. And that I did. In that moment, I had to walk away from everybody. I said, God, help me. God, help me make the right decision. And that he did indeed. And this is why I'm able to talk about my mom and the situation and anything and everything else the way that I am and the way that I can, because of God. Because of the strength he's instilled into me. Because I asked for it, I prayed, and I leaned unto him. I leaned into God before I leaned into a drug, an alcohol, a man, a friend, a family member, anything else. And I am grateful that I even had the oomph in my body, the desire to just surrender to God when it came to making that decision, and when it came to just my life period. You know, I became a stay-at-home mom in July of last year, and my life has my life has been drastically different. My life has improved. My health has inclined. My mental state has inclined. My fiance is able to be a man, freely be a man. My fiance is able to provide for his family as a man should. My fiance is able to be the man of the house. He's the head of household, while I get to do the things that my mom actually raised me to go off and do one day. My mom wasn't a wife, but my mom taught me how to cook, clean myself, take care of myself, take care of children, and how to take care of a man. And we'll be 10 years next year. We have 2 beautiful kids together. We're on our 3rd home together. And he hasn't complained yet. So I think she did a pretty good job on that. But so by surrendering and letting go of control, letting go of how I want my life to look, how I think my life should look, how I feel as if I had this or if I do that, it'll make me happier, it'll make me feel better. By letting all of that go and just surrendering to the will that God has predestined for my life before I even got here, it has drastically changed my life. It wasn't scary, yes. It is still scary, yes. Some may call it walking by faith. Others may call it pure delusion. But my delusion or walking by faith has not failed me yet. Yes, there are times that I question, like, am I doing the right thing? Is the bills gonna get paid? Is rent gonna get paid? We got no money for that. We got no money for food. Yes, there are times I do have that, but I allow myself to feel that feeling, and I almost like big sister, that little scared little. I always call her little me. Always big sister or mother, that little scared me, but like, it's okay. We got God. Jeremiah 29:11-13. I live by that. Psalms 23. I live by it. I lack nothing. The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. You know, he does that for his name's sake. I walk through the valley of shadow of, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. I live by that. And those scriptures, that mindset and surrendering has not failed me yet. And it has allowed me to go around spreading that wisdom and that knowledge to others, even if they don't get it right then, because it takes time. It's not an overnight process. It took me months. And honestly, it took me losing my mom to even realize that you can want control, when you can try to control outcomes all you want. It's never gonna work your way. It's never gonna go your way. That sun is kicking my butt. It's never going to turn out how you want it, because it's the way you want it to go. It is the way that you think is best, when God knows best. God knows all. You don't know more than God, okay? You don't know more than God. I've been saying the whole time since my mom passed, even though I don't really and fully understand, there's a version of me out there that understands. And one day this physical version will catch up with the version that already understands why this had to happen, the time it did, the way that it did, and how soon it did. I'm only 25 years old. I'll understand one day. And I kind of understand now, she's in pain. And God needed her more in heaven than he did on earth. And that's okay. I'd be selfish to say, I wish she was still here. And I know she was suffering and she was in pain. That'd be so selfish to say. And I know she's in heaven. I know that her physical body can no longer entrap her soul. I know that she is somewhere roaming free. So I'd be selfish to say I wish she was still here, and I wish it didn't happen so fast. But there are times that I do wish that I had my mom to just call. I was in Panda Express with my fiance yesterday, and my kids were over his mom's house. And I was in such a good mood. I was just about to grab my phone and call my mom. I said, oh, I can't do that. That's a luxury I don't have anymore. And it kind of hit me in there. They're like, this is kind of unfair. But living in pain every day, that's unfair too. My mom had the strongest faith. I actually have one of her faith necklaces on right now. She had the strongest faith that God would deliver her and heal her. And as I said in her speech that I said at her funeral, he did. The doctor that operated her surgery said he walked in, it looked as if she was just peacefully resting, as if she just fell asleep watching TV. Bless you. And that comforts me a lot, knowing that, okay, your pain and suffering finally had ended. But I think I've said enough about the situation. But my only recommendations to surrendering and letting go is to just do it. And that sounds so crazy and cliche, but you don't know the plans God has for you. If you know you are destined for better and greater things in this lifetime, if you know you deserve to live a stress-free, worry-free, pain-free, debt-free, financially free life, and you have no idea how you're going to make it happen, you don't know how your situation is going to change with the current circumstances that you are currently in, if you don't know the steps to take to even get your foot in the door to starting to, heading to that life, you have to lean into God. You have to cut out distractions. You have to stop the drinking, stop the smoking, or if not, slow down on it. You have to pray. You have to ask God for things that you want. You have to tell God, I trust you, and let him know you're scared. I am scared to trust. I'm scared to let go of control. I had to do that myself. I'm really scared of letting go of control because I've always had control my whole life. It was so scary to even trust my fiance. Like, oh my goodness. You can always seek God on your own terms, in your own way, without a religion or a church. So I'm going to wrap this up. I might do another part because I feel as if I'm missing some things, but because my kids are really distracting me, honestly. So if I do decide to make a second part, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment or two, subscribe, and tell a friend that Girl K Jones, she posted again. Okay, I will catch you guys later in the next video because I am just getting started. I'm just getting warmed up. I have a lot of things to share and a lot of knowledge and wisdom to drop, especially after losing my mom. Mom, I'm doing this for you. Thank you for everything you taught me, everything you've instilled in me to get me to this point, to help somebody that could be in need of hearing the words that come out of my mouth.
Mommy, can you get the cup?
I love you. I miss you so much, girl, and I pray that you're always with me. Okay, I am out. Bye.